what lies at the centre of this man's intellectuality, I think?
Well, intellectuality, I would say, this is someone who, by the way, formally did not go beyond middle school. So most of what he knows, he's taught himself. He was a prodigious reader, and his tastes grew over time. So it's not just that he was familiar with the Quran intimately, or with Hadith, or with various Sufi thinkers and various other Muslim saints, but as time grew on, he became more and more interested in other kinds of thought as well. So he's very comfortable, as I said, with someone like Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, but he's equally comfortable with someone like Einstein and other scientific thinkers. And when he began his career, as you said, he was no ordinary imam. His sense in the 70s was that Turkey was kind of adrift, that its youth was adrift. And part of that, he felt, was that there was no spiritual tether. And he realized that you can't preach to the youth in a mosque if they don't come to the mosque. So he was going to coffee shops, and he'd get into a conversation with someone, or conversation with people, and suddenly there are people gathering and listening to him, and ask me anything, and he would be comfortable with virtually any topic that he was asked about, and then people started, of course, recording him. So then his cassette tapes were being passed around, and that's kind of how his reputation grew and spread. But where he arrived, let's say by the 90s, was at a two-pronged place, as it were. One prong was he realized it's not about Turkey being adrift. It's not about Turkish youth. It's about the world. It's not about Muslims. It's about the world. It's about, we have to be working together, all of us.
It's 30 years ahead of his time.
Exactly. And the problems of the world are threefold, he thought and still thinks. Ignorance, so people need to become educated. Poverty, so we need to help people out of poverty. And social divisiveness, so we need to bring people together. And his preaching and his teaching and his writing has been all about that. So that's one part of it. The other part is, to come back to where I began, and it's not just about teaching and thinking, it's about acting. It's about doing things. How are you going to educate people? Not by talking about it. You do that by founding schools. How do you help people out of poverty? By helping them to find work or by creating work. How do you end social divisiveness? By creating programs that bring people together, like the most obvious, interfaith iftar dinners, all of which are aspects of the movement which is called Hizmet, which, as most of you know, is simply a Turkish word meaning service. So it's all about serving humanity, and it's to be found in 170 countries all over the world at this point, obviously including Australia, where you're from, and the United States, where I'm from.
And we also saw the advancement of the thing called International Festival of Language and Culture.
Absolutely.
Where he sent his students and others
Yes.
to go out and to share
Yes.
not only song, but their languages.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it
And
in
their
Australia
cultures.
with the IFLC when we've had it here.
Mm-hmm.
And excitingly for me, being part of the AIS, and I've watched Arvid Keskin, I've watched Arvid Pollack and others go out to the airport each and every day for the weeks leading up to the IFLC. And they would greet student after student after student who came and arrived here as complete strangers. And 10, 12 days later, you see them all on Facebook swapping their phone numbers, one thing
Absolutely.
another. But more importantly, leaving as bonded friends.
Yes.
That could then contact one another and share these common ideas of service,
Right.
respect.
So you end up with this spectacular network of connection.
That's right, a broader church.
Yes.
Exciting.